going back to the text from Serena, when did Serena come to the conclusion to forgive Lily? Was she like watching Lily's memories too?
I guess.
Yeah,
so.
during that
She's
scene,
projecting them.
during that scene on the steps with Blair, you might have missed it. It was a small line where she's like, I don't know, something keeps happening. Like I keep flashing back and just like seeing these visions of my mom in California in the 80s, and like I kind of see where she's coming from now.
Yeah, maybe when her eyes were closed, she was projecting it out of her mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's an interesting power that Lily has. That I'm surprised they never touch on it in other episodes. Yeah.
Hey, Upper East Siders and all you scandal-loving listeners out there. You just tuned into the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, where the coffee is strong, the waffles are fresh, and the gossip is hotter than ever. My name is Leif, and I'm your seasoned Gossip Girl veteran.
And I'm Steve, your newbie, your greenhorn, I don't know, Leif, what are we calling me at the end of season 2 now?
I think that all depends on how good you are at election fraud.
Well, they always vote for me in the end.
Sounds good.
So here's the deal, folks. Leif has been a fan of Gossip Girl since it first aired, and I'm watching through for the first time, and together, we're your dynamic duo, bringing you all the drama, romance, and sometimes questionable fashion choices of this iconic 2007 series.
That's right. Each week we'll be taking a deep dive into the show, one episode at a time. We analyze the hidden parallels and obscure references. Plus, we'll also be touching on all the behind-the-scenes gossip and some stories from fandom.
And since we're all about inclusivity here at the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod, there's always a seat for you at the Non-Judging Breakfast table. So go ahead and grab your mimosa, some coffee, or maybe Nate and Chuck's special medicine, and let's go ahead and get this thing started.
That's right, Steve. We're not alone today. We don't have to be lonely, because we got the lonely boys here, Matt and Brendan.
Welcome.
Hey, howdy.
Only no more. Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thanks.
Boy, great dynamic you guys have here with one person being the seasoned watcher of Gossip Girl and one person being the new guy on the block. That's incredible stuff.
Yeah, it's great. And one person is very clearly creepier than the other.
Yes. Yeah. I think you guys were actually the
brainchild,
the first people to ever do this format. And yes, Lonely No More. We are the Lonely Boys. We are here to keep everyone company, and we are so happy. I'll speak for myself, actually. Brendan may be seething on the inside.
Yeah,
I'm happy at least to be invited to the Non-Judging Breakfast Pod here. This should be a lot of fun.
Now, if I remember correctly, that you were the seasoned Gossip Girl vet, right?
Oh yes, yes.
And Brandon, you were the newbie.
I was the newbie. I
remember you pretty much hated the pilot. Did you hate the whole show?
I think I liked the pilot, and I ended up maybe hating the show by the end. I'm not really sure where it landed.
After the pilot, I remember listening to you at one point.
It did take Brendan a little while to get on board. Brendan, I think you're just thinking like, in our podcast right now, which in case no one's been able to pick up on this, we also do talk about Gossip Girl on our podcast, breaking it down episode by episode. We have finished the original run of Gossip Girl, and now we are on the reboot, which is just, all kinds of bad. So it's very refreshing
for when you get there.
When I watched this episode today for the podcast, it really took me back to how good this universe can be. It really made me so happy to watch. But I think we're in the sweet spot of the series at this point, where I think, Brendan, if I could be so bold as to tell you how you were feeling,
please,
you were loving it.
I do, honestly.
You were loving it at this point.
Yeah, I was. I mean, I think this was our highest graded episode.
This is our number one ranked episode of all time. Yeah. This episode, we are blessed to be on this episode. Yeah.
Yes,
so as far as this goes for us, and for me, this is my favorite episode. It does not get any higher than this. So, and even when all was said and done, and we did the complete ranking of every episode, this one stayed on top.
Yeah, I think I figured out why I like this episode so much after now being accustomed to the OC world. It's because we get half Gossip Girl and half OC in this episode. Yeah. That's exactly what's happening. And it's great.
Yeah. So normally you guys are asking the question. Now you guys get to answer the question.
Oh, God.
What is your favorite and least favorite characters?
All right, Brendan, you go first, because I know you're lusting over your favorite character already.
Yeah, I mean, she's here. I get to see two versions of her in this episode. What a treat for me. This is my favorite girl is Lily, always and forever. She's just so beautiful. I mean, she starts off the series a little bit tough. She's just like an evil mother, and maybe she continues that still to this day. But she does it in such a sexy way that you can't help but lust after her every second of every day. Least favorite character is a tough one. Without spoiling too much, maybe I don't know. Bart Bass, maybe. He's just like a.
How dare you? Friend of the pod,
I
Bart
don't know.
Bass.
It is hard. Yeah, I'll stick with that for now.
All right, Matt. For me, like I always have these answers ready I'm always ranking favorites and least favorites of everything. But you know, obviously I'm a Blair boy through and through. I'm obsessed with Blair. You know, first half of the first season, I thought maybe I was a Serena guy over Blair, and that's how Brendan started his journey as well.
Changed quickly though.
Yeah, Blair takes over pretty quickly, and just even when she's doing detestable things, you can't help but stan her. Just the way she's doing it and what she's saying while she does it, she's just so effortlessly funny. Like all of the drama in the show centers around her. She looks fantastic while doing it. I just love Leighton Meester so much, and I love Blair Waldorf. I will till the day I die. Great episode for her in this one. And then least favorite. I'm sorry, maybe Brendan's just like blacked this person out, even though she's in this episode. But Vanessa is terrible. I hate Vanessa. I cannot stand her. She really just is always on her high horse. She has this holier than thou attitude, thinking that she's better than everyone. And she's not a good person. She's just as bad as all of them. She's just not as good as doing it, not as fun to watch as doing it. Yeah. She's just so infuriating to watch. Anyone that is in this world and is just trying to portray as if they are better than this world while still participating in the shenanigans, like I just can't have respect for you. And she just does things that always just grind my gears.
I agree with you. I think watching the current reboot and how like horrible all those characters are made me kind of miss anyone from this world in the original Gossip Girl series. So
like, I love them all so much.
Vanessa's actually my favorite character.
They're all entertaining.
Yeah,
at the very least,
absolutely are. Yeah.
So a little bit of cast news before we get started. Announced this week that Penn Badgley is starting a new ad campaign for Montclair.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. He's back in his buzz cut era because he just finished shooting his last season of Yo.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait for the final season.
Flava Flav also posted a TikTok to support Leighton Meester's recovery from the fires.
Oh, hell yeah. Good for Flavor Flav.
Good for you.
I'm a percent of history on this one.
He made a TikTok using one of her sounds on it so that she would get all the money from the sound playing. So,
There you
go for it, Flav.
Way to go, Flav.
And today we are here, of course, to talk about Season 2, Episode 24, the penultimate episode of the Season 2, Valley Girls.
Hell yeah, the Penn Badgley Ultimate episode.
The originally air date was May 11th, 2009, and of course based on the film Valley Girl, 1983, starring Nick Cage and Deborah Foreman.
Brendan, would you have been able to get that reference?
I was going to spit it out if you didn't say it first.
It was on the tip of your tongue.
Yep, I remember.
Yeah. It's actually kind of, for once, an apt kind of reference because it is like a loose retelling of Romeo and Juliet, which kind of is the same thing they're doing with Lily and Owen. So it sort of fits.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
Better than usual.
And it was written by showrunners Josh Schwartz and Stephanie Savage.
Let's go.
This is Josh's first episode since the season 1 finale. And then, of course, Stephanie Savage did 2 episodes this season, one which was really bad, which was the second episode, Never Been Marcus.
And
then the second one was actually really good, 211, Oh Brother, Where Bart Thou?
I agree.
The funeral episode.
Yes. Chuck Bass at his drunkest.
Oh, yeah, this acting was so bad in that scene.
But funny.
Channeling his inner Edward Cullen.
Yes. And since this was a backdoor pilot, of course, they bring in Mark Pisnarski to do the pilot episode. And because, he's done, of course, the pilot episode of Gossip Girl, pilot episode of 90210 Reboot, Veronica Mars, and Everwood. So
I was thinking about this today, too. I remember we talked about this fact, and I was wondering while watching this time, would they have just left out all of the Gossip Girl stuff?
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
Some of it's not relevant.
No, I know. I'm sure, like, for the actual, like, if we're actually showing this as a first episode of a TV show, I'm sure they'll kind of redo some of it, make it more cohesive to what was ultimately going to be. But as far as, like you just said, this being a backdoor pilot, I think a very successful one, because I definitely wanted to stay in the world of these characters. I would have loved to watch this show, like a whole spin-off series about Lily in California. I'm so upset it didn't get picked up. I would watch the shit out of this show.
Yeah.
I have to feel the male leads killed the killed it.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have the same. I have a feeling I would have ended up hating Owen pretty quickly. There was just something about him that was like
Very punchable.
We're presented this will they won't they with him and Lily, and we're supposed to root for him, I think. But I could just tell. I was going to put the test on that guy. But there was definitely enough there where I wanted to live in that world, and I know that it was either Josh Schwartz or Stephanie Savage was confirming that this would be in the same universe as the OC, so we could have seen a young Sandy Cohen in the show, and that just would have been so exciting.
Would have been so great.
Yeah, I wish we would have got it. Didn't happen.
If only.
If only.
So the Vulture recap this week reads, watching last night's Gossip Girl cross-pollinated as it was with the new spin-off show was like having your favorite song come on the radio on a long, lonely country drive only to have the station keep sputtering out of range, replacing it intermittently with Billy Ray Cyrus.
Whoa.
Yeah,
It was like having someone pour white wine into the delicious glass of red you are drinking before you're too drunk to notice. It was to make an 80s reference like having your morning OJ spiked with Drano.
Oh my God.
Wow. Comedy fan, take notes.
The Vulture recaps are pretty brutal.
Yeah.
They're all, because I think this is a great episode just with the flashback stuff alone. But then I think what really sells it as like an all-time episode is also the stuff that's going on in present day. It was just, man, I was watching this episode just like weeping uncontrollably. Weeping. I was just in an emotional state this morning, but I was the last 15 minutes of this episode, I was weeping. I was like, oh my God, my girls, I remember them.
My girls.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into the episode. Act 1 begins without a Gossip Girl monologue. We go right into some grainy footage of the Malibu coastline. It's 1983. A young Lily, played by Brittany Snow, is cruising down the PCH in a white convertible. She stops at a payphone to call her father, asking him for a daddy-daughter lunch date.
Yeah, she was great.
Brittany Snow
really
is amazing in this. Like everything she was doing in the whole episode, I was in love with her. I love just right off the bat, just getting to see Lily's backstory. Like I love an origin story. I love a flashback episode. I love how this is kind of like an episode of Lost where we were just seeing Lily's point of view in something in the present day and then like flashing back to like something that happens before the timeline of the series. And, you know, we see right off the bat that she has this weird relationship with her parents. Like even when she calls her dad here, like her dad doesn't even want to talk to her, and that's pretty heartbreaking.
Her secretary doesn't even know she has it.
Yeah, he's like, and who are you?
Right.
And I just thought after this scene, like we should have just went right into the OC theme song. Give us some California. Start the episode off. That would have been perfect.
In 2009, Lily is slow to get out of her town car in front of the police station. She is clearly remembering something from her past.
Yeah, like I said, we're cutting back and forth between the 1980s in Malibu and present day. And as soon as you see that this is what the format of this episode was going to be, like I was hooked immediately.
Yeah, it's kind of like a funny episode to talk about because it's just like every time you're gonna like it is funny.
I can't stop laughing.
Every beat of this episode, I'm gonna be like, yeah, that was good, right? That was good too. Just enjoying it.
We're just reminiscing of the glory days.
Yeah. And in that first scene, I forgot to mention that if you did pause, you saw a letter in Lily's purse. She is expelled.
Dun dun dun.
Damn, I must have missed that, but I picked up on it pretty quickly. When she tells us she was expelled.
Yeah. See, I saw that because they don't use cell phones in this show yet, so I can read papers. But when they try and zoom in on a little telephone,
that's when we lose Brendan.
That's
when
when
we have to
you lose
text
me
on phone screens.
I can't do it.
Inside the station, the non-judging Breakfast Club is still waiting for Serena's release. Serena has been there for over 4 hours, more than Nicole Richie and Lindsay Lohan combined. They at least got the information that Lily is the one who had Serena arrested.
Yeah, and Blair is like pacing back and forth, complaining about how long she's been in there. I love right off the bat, we are in a positive Blair and Serena episode. Blair is riding for her girl Serena. You mentioned that stare that she gives Lily when she walks into the jail. Like she is pissed off. She's like, how dare you put my girl Serena in a jail cell right now?
You know, Blair could have taken these 4 hours to apologize to Georgina for blowing up at her falsely last week, but
Well, we're not going to do that. We can't do that.
That seems right in line for something Blair would do.
You don't apologize. Nobody, not even Blair, especially Blair, but you don't apologize to Georgina. You can't.
Yeah. No hugging, no learning, no apologies.
Yeah. I was so excited I forgot what happened in the Gossip Girl half of this episode, and we start with Serena in jail. I'm like, oh, this is so good. This is so funny. And it's a rare good episode for Serena because she hates her mom all episode long, too.
And
she's
we
so
love
sassy.
it. We love it when a teenage girl hates their mom. That's always a highlight.
It's a highlight for us.
And yeah, I think also a great episode for my theory that Blair is in love with Serena. Like I think we get,
come on.
we definitely get flashes of that.
But by the end of the episode, like, what are they doing? Not kissing? It's insane that they're not kissing.
That was crazy, almost crazy that they didn't kiss.
It was homophobic.
At least the show definitely reminded us that they are the most important relationship on the show.
100%.
100%.
Lily goes to the front desk but sees Blair, Nate, and Chuck waiting. Blair is with only her eyes judging the hell out of Lily.
Yes, non-judging Breakfast Club unless it's Lily at this moment. Unless you're not part of the non-judging Breakfast Club, and then you are going to get judged the hell out of.
But to defend my girl here, of course, you see Lily taking these looks on, it just rolls right off her. No one can
I was going to
ask.
I was going to ask if you think this affected Lily at all. But Lily,
no.
I don't know. I actually felt like I think that Lily never wants anyone to know what's going on inside her head. And I think that look that she gave was you cannot convince me I fucked up right now.
Right.
But I think that Lily already knows she fucked up.
Right.
You know? I think the look was that she was annoyed that they were there at all.
Yeah, that too.
Speaking of looks, Brendan, how did your girl Lily look in this episode?
I mean, I don't know which. I'm still probably more attracted to the older version of her. She just looks incredible. Brittany, no shade against Brittany Snow, of course, but season 2 Lily, untouchable.
No visor. No, we recently discovered that Brendan has a bit of a visor kink. She wasn't wearing a visor in this episode, so that might have put her down a few pegs.
Yeah, right. Still an A-.
Tennis girls.
Yeah.
It is
I wouldn't have been surprised if Brittany Snow came out in one scene we're just wearing a visor.
Yeah, it's true.
The creative means of hiding the baby bump, though, still seems to be.
Yes.
Yes, Kelly Rutherford is still pregnant at this point.
No wonder she has that glow about her.
They must have done a somewhat decent job at hiding it because I did not notice watching the episode.
Well, that's because she's standing behind a desk.
Yeah, she had a big police desk in front of her. So
she was eating a big piece of cake in every scene, weirdly enough.
At the loft, Jenny and Dan are explaining to Vanessa about Rufus's non-proposal. Dan plans to skip prom and watch movies with Jenny and Vanessa. Rufus comes out of and tells the kids that Lily has Serena arrested and they should stay out of it.
Yeah, you can't fool Rufus. He's like, I know you're the gossip generation. I know you want a piece of this gossip. It's like, shut up, Rufus. No one wants to talk about you. No one wants to talk about you.
And again, Rufus, I like him a lot better now that I've had to deal with new dads in world.
I mean, in comparison, sure, but Rufus was his petulant self in this one. He's like, and women can figure it out for themselves.
He's the version of him that we fucking.
He's been bad for the second half of this season.
Yeah. Second season, Rufus was what he got. I think he has our record for most LVPs in a single season, and it is season 2. I think we gave him 13 of them throughout the season. And also, thank God, this is the only scene that Vanessa is in, maybe. And because at first I saw it and I was like, oh, Vanessa's in this one. And I was like, should I just turn it off and just call it a day? But I trucked through it. Thank God.
She was fine in the scene. She didn't really say it.
Didn't offend too much. Yeah. I think her eyes light up when Rufus comes in and he's like, I didn't actually propose. Vanessa's like, oh, I saw the chance. I saw the chance because Brendan's famous theory is that Vanessa and Rufus had a little fling on the side.
There's definitely vibes.
There's vibes.
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay,
but I blame the writers. The actors fight it really hard. As Lily is walking back to get Serena, she has a flash of memories that coincide with a mugshot of someone named Owen.
Oh, yeah.
Now, do you think in the Gossip Girl world, when she's having these flashbacks, her eyes roll behind her head while she's at the jail, and everyone's like, what the fuck is happening to Lily right now?
She's just blacking out every time.
Lily and Serena argue. Lily says Serena will understand when she has a mother. Serena gives Lily a sick burn, saying that she would rather give up her kids for adoption than be like Lily.
That is
wait, you already did that.
Oh, so good. Like we said, love the teenage girl, hates their mom.
You already did that.
So relatable. I'm a mother. I will be nothing like you. Like, oh.
It is funny, but like she also looks way too old to be saying shit like that. Because she looks 30 there.
I do. Lily's whole thing is, when you're a mother, you will see that you have to make unpopular decisions. Like, for example, putting your daughter in jail. Like, no one. No, you're like in a class of your own right now. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, when she has that argument with CeCe later, she says like, "I've maybe surpassed the things that you've done that were horrible, but."
And I'm still at the point, like, I talked about this when we, like, reviewed this episode ourselves, and it's like, everyone always tells you, like, oh, when you're a parent, you'll understand. And I'm, like, watching this series now as, like, an adult, still don't have kids, and so maybe that's the problem, but I could, you could. I could pick some up at the adoption center if I wanted to. But watching this, I'm still like, no, the kids are still right. Like, these parents are terrible.
As Serena points out that Lily was not her one phone call, and CeCe saunters up and whispers a little jibe in Lily's ear.
This was CeCe's best entrance so far.
It was
so perfect.
This scene was like so like out of a soap opera. Like, in case you didn't notice, you weren't my one call, and then CeCe just like appears out of nowhere.
Me.
Hello, dear. It's me.
Big smoke cloud in the hallway.
She floats in like a witch.
If my mom put me in jail, I'd be more of a nightmare than Serena. Like, Lily should be counting her lucky stars that Serena is only doing the things that she's doing in this episode.
Yes. And Gossip Girl definitely agrees with that, because she comes into the commercial break with, "For those who complain about the youth of today, if you think we're bad, you should have seen our parents."
Thank you, Kristen Bell. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we move into Act 2. Young Lily is meeting her father for lunch at a trendy Malibu restaurant. However, it looks like her father called CeCe and brought her in for the ambush. Her father got her back into school. It seems like her father will do anything for his daughter except actually be a parent for her.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Lily. And we see this version of Lily that, first of all, fun to see like where she comes from, what CeCe is like when she's younger, what her dad was like, because we have no idea. We didn't even know that she had a sister until this episode. But like, we just see a version of Lily that's so unrecognizable, not only because she is Brittany Snow now, but also because she's like, oh yeah, the valet is $2, but I already spent that on gas. Like, what is this version of Lily that isn't just like flaunting her money every chance she gets?
Yeah. It hasn't really built up her confidence yet.
Yeah. And we get a lot of backstory, a lot of exposition. We're finding out about her parents' divorce. We're finding out about all this other stuff, that she got kicked out of boarding school, and
found out that Andrew McCarthy could not keep Tower Records alive for very much longer.
I know.
Yeah.
We also find out CeCe's drink order, which is a gin and tonic, no tonic.
Yes. Famous order.
And she stays consistent throughout the year.
She does.
Yeah,
She's still got a bottle of gin hiding at Lily's place in present day.
There was the time earlier where Eric said, "We all know that's gin in your coffee mug."
Yeah.
That's disgusting. A horrible concoction.
And you mentioned Lost earlier. Did you recognize Cynthia Watros?
Yes, I did.
The young CeCe.
Libby from Lost, right? Yes.
Yeah.
I did.
Early's
I did
girlfriend.
recognize. Yep.
Oh,
That always.
I recognized her. I couldn't place it.
Yeah. And now she's on General Hospital, or so I'm told, from my mom.
As is Penelope.
Yeah. Yes, I did. I did know
Really?
that too.
My wife actually pointed that out. She goes, "Is Penelope on General Hospital now?"
A Gossip Girl reunion in this episode. It's too bad. It's too bad they didn't have any scenes together. An inter-timeline scene with Penelope and young CeCe.
That's funny.
We find out Penelope's just a vampire. She's been the same age for 100
We
years.
just see Penelope in the past. That would have been quite the revelation, and I wouldn't bat an eye. I'd be like, yeah, okay, sure. Penelope's just
Makes the
always
paladin
been here
better.
in this form.
Yeah.
Lily follows her father out of the restaurant, begging to be allowed to live with him, but he just shuts her down. Lily promises CeCe that she will follow her home, but then she gets into her car where she looks like she has other ideas in her mind.
Yeah, and this is so sad where we see with her and her dad, like, she's saying she got expelled because, her dad, like, her new school has everything except for her father. We see her begging her to live with her father, and he's like, not a great time. Call me after London.
Right.
Like, she is trying so hard to get her dad's attention, and he is just not invested at all. And it's just breaks my heart for young Lily.
Yeah.
I wonder if young Jimmy Cooper is interning under her father.
Maybe
He is. Learning a little something about parenting, being like, this is how you be a good father. You
good.
leave your daughter. Taking
You
notes.
sail away.
And like, as a dad, all I've wanted since my ex and I split up is for my kids to live with me. I can't.
Yeah, right. The opposite.
You're the opposite.
Fathom saying to one of my kids, "Sorry, kid, it's just not. It's just
Boarding
not
school or
gonna work,
nothing."
'cause I'm too successful to parent."
Hey, I would love
And
to.
so-
I
and
just
she's
don't
like,
want
"Oh,
to.
Your house is so big, you won't even realize I'm there. And he's like, yeah, I don't know.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
you're
don't
really
gonna
cramp
hear
my
me.
style.
Yeah,
You're
hopefully
gonna
after
hear
London.
me with my ragers and Coke parties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You're
It's a strange dynamic too because it doesn't seem like he dislikes her at all. They have like a decent rapport at first. Too.
oh yeah, sure. He likes her fine as like a little buddy, but as a
he's a
daughter,
little bit- yeah.
as a daughter,
Doesn't want to take care of her.
I don't want you to
Well,
depend on me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. What CeCe says is accurate. He just doesn't want to parent. He doesn't want to be the parent.
Yeah.
He's fine,
Yeah.
he's fine with being the friend.
Right.
But
We
he's-
we also learned that Lily has a sister here too. in
Yes, this is
conversation.
and I feel like that if we are going to nitpick this episode, the dialogue is like crazy. Like it's just all exposition. She's just like walking with her mom. She's just like, just a reminder, I have a sister, and this is where she is right now. Isn't this?
Sure.
Let me just naturally throw this into a conversation.
But I guess you wouldn't think about too much if it was like a first episode of a TV show you're watching.
It's also funny that now that we have because you guys have obviously watched this more recently than I. Is this the first time we are finding out that Lily has a sister?
No, it was definitely mentioned in the third episode of the series because that's
Oh,
where
okay.
Eric was hanging out. He was hanging out at Aunt Carol's down in Florida.
Oh, okay. So
Oh.
listen, good,
Oh,
good for them for
okay.
bringing this little Easter egg
Okay.
from the third episode. Of the show.
There's Carol.
Yeah, I
Finally.
didn't remember that at all.
Yeah, so
Yeah, 'cause-
that's why Eric is such a Marlins fan.
Yeah,
Right.
go
I
Marlins.
remembered him staying in Florida, but I didn't remember that staying in Florida.
Yeah.
But
Because I find it
Yeah.
funny that they never talk about Aunt Carol like until this episode, and then all of a sudden in this episode now, even in present day, they are talking about Lily's sister as if
Yeah.
they always do that.
Back in the present, Lily is once again staring off into memory, but is interrupted by the return of Eric and CeCe. Lily is still pissed at CeCe and strongly implies that she is an unwelcome guest. Turns out Serena didn't come home with CeCe after all.
Love that move. Love that move by Serena. Love that. I guess CeCe didn't even I don't know how this conversation went. Like CeCe was like, "All right, here, I'm here to bail you out of jail," and she's just like, "No, you can go home." And CeCe was like, "Great, I've got gin waiting for me back there anyway."
Perfect.
This actually works out perfectly, Serena. Thank you.
It's like the lowest security jail ever. Like, do you see where she's like just making that phone call like in the hallway or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. At the
The
victim's
guard-
desk.
The guards are like, "You can leave if you want to." By the way, and she's like, "No,
I mean, Dan just goes and picks her up later.
Yeah.
How in jail are you? Can someone just stay in jail? Like, no, I'm sorry, officer. I just want to stay.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not mad at my mom.
I'm not sure how that works.
Fair.
Maybe I'll try it out. See,
Yeah, try it out.
see.
Let us know.
Next time I'm there. And yes, as we said, Serena is still in jail and calling Blair. Serena says she is in a battle of wills with Lily and stayed in jail by choice. Serena wishes her a happy prom with Nate.
Yeah, and this is when Blair has the interesting line where she's like, "Wait, you're staying in jail? You're not going to come out of there with a mullet and a girlfriend, are you?" And it seems accusatory on the surface, but the way she's like, "Are you?" I was like, "There's some hope
She's
there."
worried there's another girl
She's
involved
worried
somewhere.
She's worried there's another
You
girl.
meet somebody in there, did you?
There's a-
It's a very generous reading, but sure.
That's how we interpret it, yeah.
And this is when we flag up all the prom stuff going on here too. That Serena's mentioning that Blair is going to live out her dream by going to prom with Nate, and all the prom stuff gets set up here. And I'm like, great, I love a prom episode.
Little Prom episode. It's also so refreshing and nice to see these kids in school. It's just been so long that they were in the school.
Not really in school, but sort of.
Yeah, right. School
School
adjacent.
adjacent.
Yeah.
And I don't usually support Serena, but she is nailing it this week. When she
is,
stays
yeah.
in jail, she like
It's a rare one.
I loved Serena in this episode.
You know
Yeah.
who wasn't nailing it so much was it's a very like boring Nate episode. I forget how boring he can be constantly.
He wins prom king, so
In the most boring way, yeah. not a great.
and then he gets dumped.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Dorota comes into Blair's room with bad news
Yes.
and good news. Bad news is the dry cleaners ruined Blair's prom dress. The good news is a new dress arrives from Paris that matches the one from Blair's suddenly famous prom scrapbook.
Yes, the famous.
I really wish they could have mentioned this in like a previous, at least once in the previous episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this show tends to have decent continuity for stuff like that, and it's so like Blair to have that. So you should have had that earlier in the season.
Did they not mention this in episode 3 as well?
No.
Episode 3 was just the one
That's where all the little gemstones come from.
all the little
all
Easter
the
eggs.
gems.
Yeah. I found it interesting that yeah, that,
Up for a second season, we need to make sure to connect these dots.
exactly. I found it interesting when Dorota asked the good news or bad news first, and Blair replied good news always, which I thought no one ever picked that except for Julie Cooper, who we just recapped an episode of the OC where I think Julie has this same exact line, good news always. Like I don't know what that means about the
good news, and then just don't deliver the bad news.
The continuity of Julie Cooper and Blair Waldorf, but obviously always bad news first, and especially because it doesn't make sense with Dorota's delivery if you do the good news first.
Yeah.
which really threw Dorota off. Too.
Yeah, she was like, okay, good news. There was replacement.
Nate and Chuck are walking down the street. Nate is asking if Chuck is sabotaging Nate and Blair's perfect prom. Chuck denies it.
Yeah, I mean, what else is he going to do?
Fair to ask.
This is like the third episode in a row where Nate's just been like hounding after Chuck.
Yeah, this sort of rung a bell a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Nate thought he was going to get out of this conversation. Like, by the way, you're not sabotaging Blair's prom, are you? Chuck's just like,
well, yeah, you got me.
Yeah, you got me. Sorry, I'll lay off. He's like, no, of course not. And then he says like, Blair's yours, which I don't love. Like, I mean, I get what he means. He's still like implying some sort of ownership that I don't own Blair anymore. You own Blair. But this was a great episode for the Blair and Chuck shippers against any Blair and Nate shippers, if they even existed. Like, I don't know if anyone was hardcore shipping Blair and Nate.
Cared about this anymore at this point.
Yeah.
Back at the penthouse, Lily is ordering CeCe out of her house and to never come back. Lily says she now sees the appeal of the life Carol has.
Oof.
I really love CeCe in this episode. I really think that Lily is wrong for holding this grudge for what CeCe did, because CeCe did it the wrong way, but did the right thing. Like, that relationship couldn't have really worked with that huge secret laying underneath it.
Right. She mentions it in the episode. This is about CeCe was the one who told Rufus that they had a son together, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, probably something that Rufus should have known. So, like you were saying, I don't know if CeCe's intentions were pure when she's revealing this, but like, she's not in the wrong with like Lily's
This
in the
wasn't her
wrong
news
here
to deliver.
for never divulging this information here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's kind of implied though that CeCe is the one that forced her to do that.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
Sure.
Right. I also think it's rich coming from Lily when
That's
she orders her mom to stop meddling, and it's like, Lily, you are the meddler. You are
You're meddling right now.
You are the like I always call her, the Dumbledore of the Upper East Side. You are meddling in everyone's business.
Every single person's business.
Nothing happens on the Upper East Side without your fingerprints on it.
It's true.
Stop meddling, mother. Now let me get my daughter from jail.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an interesting family tree between CeCe. The three of them.
Definitely similarities.
Serena falls flat out of the three of them. She doesn't have the skills that the first two generations do.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Until we get the reboot of the reboot and we see Serena as a mother.
Scary thought. After a commercial, we return to 1983. Lily walks into a diner looking for her sister Carol. She bumps into the man from the earlier mugshot. Young Lily goes into a nervous ramble that would make Dan Humphrey proud.
Yeah, for real.
What's with the 1950s haircut for the 1980s? Like they wanted to. This guy looks like a greaser from an Elvis video.
In the 80s, the 50s were in. Maybe.
It's true. It's 30 years cycle.
Possibly.
The only thing that made it not 50s was the Thrasher
I was
t-shirt.
young.
Again, we have poor Lily in this scene. Like, she spent the last $9 that she had on gas, and now she's broke. She's like you said, she's looking for her sister, and this is also during this fantastic Dan Humphrey worthy ramble, where she has this, at first, what I thought was just like an offhand remark about how she's going to end up being a prostitute, her words. But it also seems like she has been putting a lot of thought into this inevitable outcome where she has a lot of questions about the ins and outs of the sex work industry.
Yeah, she knows she'll end up there.
And where those ins and outs take place.
Yeah, and we now know that Lily canonically does not enjoy giving BJs.
Yeah. At least not to strangers for money.
Yeah. She's out. If that's what the sex work industry is about, then she is out. She's no longer interested.
Love penetration,
so she really needs to find her sister. So that doesn't happen.
It's amazing she was able to attract so many rock stars with that kind of attitude.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know.
Owen invites her to a show later that night as Lily's sister will be there. Owen offers Lily some of Carol's clothes. Lily gets nostalgic when she sees an old photo of her sister in Carol's locker. Odd that he offered her the clothes.
Yeah, can he offer that? Like, those are not his clothes to offer.
I come back here and wear her clothes all the time. You can do it too.
This is all where he's like, there is a gig tonight, and your sister will probably be there, like, since you're looking for her. And she like plays this, is like, you want me to go out on a date with you? Like, and he's like, all right, well, you're looking for your sister, so I don't know what you want from me. Like, she's gonna be there, so either come with me or don't. Your call.
Yeah.
Lily of the present is reminiscing while looking at the same Polaroid. Lily is interrupted by a call from Dan, who is surprised to learn Serena is still in jail. Dan tells Jenny that he's going to need a dress for prom.
Oh, boy.
But he's going to have to get his own shoes.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. Jenny has some small feet.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Not enough Jenny in this episode. How do you guys feel about Jenny? Because I know we were big defenders of Jenny Humphrey on the podcast.
We also love Jenny.
Yes, I know it's a very controversial opinion. I feel like a lot of people defend her and a lot of people hate her, but we have always been defenders of it. Like you said, love the teen revolting against their parents. Yeah, and this was the season where we were giving Jenny a lot of love. She was getting the MVP like every episode. Yep. So
she's also one of the best actors among kids too.
Yeah.
Her and Leighton are the powerhouse actors in the kids.
Yeah.
And they sell everything they're in, and every reason to not like Jenny is that she plays a perfect fucking teenager.
Yeah.
Yes,
right. She's doing what she's supposed to be doing.
She's doing. She is a perfect teenage girl here. It's incredible, and that's what anything that anyone doesn't like about her, you could just tell her that. You could just fire back with that. So yeah, unfortunately, not a ton of Jenny, but there's too much going on in this episode to also fit a Jenny storyline in there. So at least we get her a little bit in this scene. Yeah. And we also get that phone call. Dan and Lily pretty close these days. They're chatting on the phone all the time.
Yeah, they're buds.
Yeah. Back in 1983, we get a Billy Idol scored montage of Lily trying on different outfits that would fit in right at an 80s themed costume party. Owen interrupts, and the pair share a moment.
Oh.
At least two of the outfits. At least two of those outfits are iconic Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
The sweats and then the grease outfit.
Yeah.
I thought the one was more Madonna.
Yeah, the one she ended up in is definitely a Madonna outfit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what about the one with the hat and the suspenders? I thought was a Madonna thing too, but it could have been Cyndi Lauper.
Maybe one of each, yeah.
Or it could have been Tiffany. That might have, but
so many 80s pop stars.
Yeah.
But they really did like replicate those.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love a montage. To me, Brittany Snow is pulling off every single outfit she tries on.
Yeah. And a fashion show is a great way to do a montage, too.
Of course. And classic 80s song in the background. And yes, you mentioned the moment that they have. This is what, like, Lily calls it out and, like, charmingly tells him he's totally falling in love with her right now, to which he does not deny. And this is where, like, you can see where Serena gets some of her Woodsen charm from because Lily was very charming when she's just flat out saying, like, oh, you're falling in love with me right now, to the point where Owen, as a leading man, I don't know how this would have worked if the show got picked up for a full series, because he does not have that same charm. And when he tries to turn this back around on her later, he fires it off with like the pizzazz of a caveman. Like it was like
you love me too.
You fall in love with me too.
But
that might as well have been line reading.
But also, Serena's the person to like just fall in love with everyone else, though. I don't know if I know she's charming, but she usually falls for them.
That is true. She also doesn't take much to woo Serena.
Yeah,
Serena and Nate, they'll both just chase the shiny new thing.
Golden retrievers.
Yep. They're both the golden retrievers.
Yeah.
In 2009, Lily is back at the police station ready to drop the charges. However, Lily is surprised to learn that Serena has flown the coop.
Sorry, we lost your daughter. I don't know. She's gone. She's gone. That's all well and good, but your daughter's not even here.
She left.
I don't know.
18 years old.
She asked if we could stay. We said she could stay. She asked if she could leave. We said she could leave. What do you
Yeah,
want?
she said not to tell you. We didn't think it was important. We didn't want to waste your time. She's not here.
Doors open the whole time.
Well, these jail cells don't even have locks. I don't even know why they keep bringing people here.
Returning from the commercial, we are once again in 1983. Lily and Owen arrive at the show where we see No Doubt cosplaying as an 80s bar band.
Snowed out.
Owen is,
No doubt.
The famous 80s band Snowed Out.
and Owen's definitely clearly popular around here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have to say hello to every single person.
It is crazy that they got No Doubt for this, and they weren't even No Doubt.
This was more of like an OC thing to get the live band performances, but
Right.
I guess now that we're in California,
Could
this
technically
episode,
be No Doubt
yeah.
because it was 83. It didn't exist that long
no,
ago. I guess.
that's why it's a
Yeah.
it's a No Doubt-esque band called Snowed Out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I was excited. I was jamming out to the music.
Oh yeah.
First, we meet Owen's buddy Shep, who is on a mission to help his lady. His lady, sort of, turns out to be Carol, who arrives moments after Shep. After some quick bonding, everyone heads to the car.
I love Kristen Ritter.
I love Kristen Ritter
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
She's doing great in here. Right away, we can tell that Carol is going to be this iconic sister that Lily has, this like alt Rhodes girl that is living here. Shep seems like someone who's going to be some kind of a character here, and I love seeing 1980s Lily trying to fit in with this crowd. Would have loved even more to see like present day Lily trying to fit in with this crowd. Like I want to see the Lily Rufus years where Lily is just like
I know.
touring with like ratty bands. Like
Yeah,
I want to see
thought
how that worked
When
out.
we first watched this episode, I was like, where is he going to be? Like, we're in his world seemingly, and they just don't introduce him. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
not a part of the
Yeah,
story.
I
timeline
was
is very
wondering.
weird.
I was wondering if Shep's band would be Lincoln Hawk.
You would think.
When I was watching this at first, that she has this whole flirty thing with this guy, but then on stage walks this fucking gorgeous Rufus that she just is. Oh,
Yeah.
Rufus, oh my!
oh,
What is the timeline? Is it?
that guy?
I guess this is before.
He's a famous 90s band.
This is
right?
before she would have met Rufus, right? But also, we are introducing a Vander Woodsen character in this episode. So
Yeah, so according to forums, Scott was born in 1990. This was 83.
yeah. So 7 years before the kid. So I don't know where the Vander Woodsen of it all fits into this timeline, but
There's a lot
I
of
guess
unanswered questions by the end.
yeah,
of this episode, for sure.
something.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Another fun fact for Veronica Mars fans: Kristen Ritter and Ryan Hansen, who plays Shep, were both on Veronica Mars season 2 together.
Oh,
Haven't seen
okay. Have not watched Veronica Mars, but that guy did look familiar, so I'm
He's
confident.
been around.
Yeah. And there's some we don't know for sure if Shep and Kristen Ritter are a thing. He's calling her his lady. She's saying maybe not so much.
Yeah.
But speaking of ramblers, Carol also can ramble. She
really can.
apologizes for like 50 different things and asks like 11 questions in the first 15 seconds of seeing Lily.
Mm-hmm.
She plays the exact same character here that she does in season 7 of Gilmore Girls. It's the exact same character.
Yes.
And they're both great. I like them both.
We shift from the dive bar to a swanky Upper East Side prom circa 2009. Blair and Nate seem to be having a good time until the Mean Girls show up and announce that the first time Constance is electing a prom king and queen. Blair pretends to be nonplussed, but clearly that's not true.
So can you remind me where the minions stand with Blair right now? I guess obviously they're not the biggest fans of her. Like what's been
Right
happening
now, they're
recently?
kind of free agents. That's why I'm
Free
calling them
agents
Mean
right now,
Girls
okay.
instead of Minions at this
Sure.
point.
Yeah, because it was because not having the context of seeing the episodes before this in a while, where they're like, we're gonna rig it so that Blair doesn't win. I was like, oh, Blair has
Right.
lost control of her minions here. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Through the whole Chuck thing is gradually showing her losing the grasp, just like not really paying attention and basically being over high school.
Okay.
Right, and I do
right.
like
She does
that.
mention that a little bit in this episode.
Yeah. Blair is putting on this show at first where she's like, yeah, I love that we don't have a prom queen here. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like you, Blair. But then very
They mentioned
quickly,
Tiara. She's like,
Especially
oh,
about
boy.
the tiara.
Tiara, wait a second, what? And this is where I always bring up that Brendan was the prom king of our high school.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
There's a butt, though.
There is a
recent
but. Yeah, I
There's
can't
always
believe.
that.
Yeah, I would always brag that you were the prom king whenever prom episodes come up, and I
It's actually very
recent
pertinent
news
to this episode too.
Yeah, recent news has really shattered. Like much like in Gossip Girl, our prom king was apparently rigged for Brendan to win. So
The ballots were apparently stuffed for me. Yeah.
the ballots were thrown out so that Brendan could. Again, Brendan did not. When I brought this up on our podcast, Brendan did not correct me when I brought it up.
I didn't want.
Adam was the prom king too. I didn't know if you
Was it rigged?
It was probably rigged.
It was probably rigged.
If I know anything about proms from this episode and from life, they're always rigged.
Yes.
I also loved Blair's reaction to the word tiara. How
Like sparkle in her eye.
Her head a little.
She's like,
Yeah.
She can envision it on her.
In a cab, Dan is riding in front with a creepy driver who keeps trying to sneak a peek at Serena changing in the back seat. It looks like Dan, with an assist from CeCe, sprung Serena so she wouldn't miss the prom. If I wasn't so sick of this couple, I might think this was sweet.
Yeah, I'm sure we were all suffering from Dan and Serena fatigue.
I thought it was sweet that guy was trying
Yeah,
to check her out. That was
definitely.
nice of him.
Yeah, the cab driver, I thought that was a really sweet
That was
moment.
a really sweet moment.
Between him and Serena. That was like, oh, is there sparks here? between
Sparks?
the- No, we need to talk about this pervy cab driver. Dan has to call him out and say, eyes up front. And this guy was not even looking at the road. He was so obsessed with trying to sneak a peek of this high school girl changing in the back of his cab.
Yeah, pretty gross.
Although missing your own prom to stay in jail to prove a point would be like serious commitment to the bit from Serena here.
Seriously, yeah.
Blair and Nate are voting for themselves, but we move quickly to another part of this party where we see the Mean Girls stuffing the ballot box in favor of Nelly Yuki. However, it does look like Chuck saw the machinations.
Nelly Yuki would be a good prom queen.
Oh, really? You're in favor of Nelly Yuki for prom queen?
And really, I feel like Nelly Yuki is the queen at this point because she's the one that they often defer to, and she's the one that they were gonna crown queen.
She's the people's queen.
Yeah, and we haven't seen them hold court in forever at the Met steps, and I just assume now that it's Nelly holding court.
Right.
I think it's still Penelope in charge, but they know that Nelly winning will hurt Blair the most because she also took the L from her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a special place of hatred in Blair's heart for Nelly Yuki.
I don't think Penelope could ever lead. She's not a leader. She's just, she's always been a number two.
I think she's a great head minion.
Yeah.
The minions have all been number twos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the actress actually recently posted about her 10-year anniversary with her girlfriend on Instagram. She looks great. So
That's great.
good for her.
Good for you.
Back in 1983, Lily is learning about Carol's new life in LA. Carol tells Lily that no one here knows who they are, and Carol's trying to make it on her own.
Yeah, I like that Lily kind of brings up her dad, and she's like, whoa. And she turns the music up, and all of a sudden the guys can't hear what she's saying anymore. She's like, she turned up the music 2 notches, and she's like, don't mention dad. And the guys, I guess, just cannot hear anymore.
Does Carol have a dad?
Well, Shep had headphones on.
Okay, that explains it. But
it seemed like Owen was kind of hearing what was going on.
Yeah, but he didn't want to, not making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
You can't lose that street cred by people finding out that you're wealthy, I guess.
You have a rich daddy, yeah. Come on.
Also, is her sister now fanny pack rich after investing in the fanny pack? Is that how she affords her place in Florida?
The purse belt. She invented that.
Purse belt.
It's good. It's good look.
Let's hope so.
Well, if they never address it, that's my headcanon.
Yeah,
sure.
Might as well be. And it gets real because Lily, Carol tells Lily she sounds like mom, and then Lily's like, oh, well, she's the only female role model I've had since you bailed on us. So definitely some hurt feelings here among sisters.
Lily of the present goes back to the loft to talk to Rufus about not setting out to be like her mother, but yet still falling into those similar patterns. Rufus gives her some good advice, but when Lily goes in for the kiss, Rufus pulls back.
Come on, Rufus. You missed your chance.
This is all Rufus wants, and now he's still like, he's still gonna be like, oh, I don't, you're a different person now. You're not what I thought you were. Maybe this isn't what I want. I don't know. I gotta decide. It's like, shut the hell up.
He's so condescending.
You know exactly who she fucking is. She's been the same fucking person the whole time. Like,
nothing has changed about her.
Yeah,
nothing has ever changed. Nothing will ever change. Don't pretend like she's this different person than she is. This is all well and good. Like Lily is trying to turn over. We are seeing some growth in Lily in this episode, and then the fact that Rufus still just wants to.
Rufus thinks he did it all. I don't know.
Yeah,
He
Rufus
talks to her
wants
like
Lily.
she's her child.
Rufus wants Lily to be like, "Thank you for showing me the light, Rufus. You were so
Thank you.
I'm not wor-
I'll even
give
give
you
you
a
a BJ,
person.
I'm
and I
not
hate
worthy of
those.
you."
If only I could be as good of a parent as you.
Yeah. As soon as Rufus is like, "I'm not sure where we stand right now," Lily should be like, "Okay, you're lost. Bye."
We move into Act 3. In 1983, Lily, Carol, Owen, and Shep are breaking into a house during a party to recover the music video for Shep's band. Carol and Lily argue about the plan, but before Carol goes off with Shep, she tells Owen to watch Lily.
Correction, they're entering a house. The
Yes,
window
not
was
breaking.
unlocked.
Not breaking and entering, just entering. Important distinction. Important distinction. Yeah, I mean, always some, fun where we're just entering, not breaking, entering into a house. Like I love the shenanigans. I love a caper. Yeah. I love when Shep flushes the toilet and comes out of the bathroom and like pumps his fist like he just accomplished something. I thought that was an interesting choice. But yeah, this is fun. Like I'm having a good time with these characters here.
Yeah, it's a fun no-see party.
The one thing I'll nitpick is like this was supposed to be like a time sensitive mission. Why is this time sensitive to go right while they're having a party? Why not go when they're like out at the beach or something?
Would have made more sense. Sure.
It's a more fun shot.
Moving back to 2009 at the prom, Blair is excited to see Serena has arrived. Dan's thanks from Blair is talking to him for a whole 10 seconds. Dan can't help but chuckle.
Yeah.
Dan and Serena hit the dance floor.
More than Dan deserved, I'll say that. Like that, that I mean, he really, really got a lot there. 10 seconds of Blair talking to you, like that. What more could you want?
Yeah, he's flying high right now after that.
I do have to point out, Serena and Dan are doing kind of the same dancing that they usually do when they're dancing together. The same dancing that was at like the Lily Bart wedding, which is Serena like charmingly swaying and Dan just jumping up and down. Like it's
they pan down to his feet. And he's just hopping like a little fucking bunny. I'm like, what is that?
Like Dan, you gotta learn a dance move, please, because you cannot just jump up and down for every song.
At least
it's
like
funny because Penn's actually
like...
a good dancer. I've seen him dance pretty well in other stuff.
I bet it's a character choice. It's like this loser Dan Humphrey does not know how to dance.
No way. No.
And that's kind of a funny thing because I find that the better you are at something, the harder it is to be bad at it intentionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's not even dancing in these scenes. He's just jumping.
Yeah.
He's like...
He can't even bad dance. He just has to jump instead. So
he's just doing a jump rope.
Because it doesn't even look like they're dancing together. Serena's like, just dancing. It's so silly.
I was just going to say that this is the scene where it occurred to me, when are Dan and Serena going to realize they're in the exact same relationship as Lily and Rufus?
I think everyone realizes it.
Yeah, it's an unspoken truth. I think they just want to not talk about it.
Yeah.
Safety dance plays as Carol sees Lily having a good time with Owen at the bar. Carol confronts the host of the party, a blonde man with the surname Woodsen.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends.
That's a version of a gasp, I guess.
Yeah. I was setting the scene. You guys were gasping. I was providing the background music.
I thought when you get scared, you start singing that song.
I was, yeah.
The foreshadowing of the daddy issues of this music guy who we know is going to eventually father her kids.
Well, is she?
That is something to. But before we meet the Woodsen, we have this Owen guy, and I'm like trying to run through Lily's like 8 husbands' names. Were any of them named Owen? Is this guy important? But then we see that someone mentions the name Woodsen, and I mean, if you are watching this for the first time and you see someone named Woodsen, I don't think there's any reason to think anything other than this must be Lily's future husband and father of her 2 children. It seems like that would have to be the implication.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm finally going to ask. This is the only flashback episode we're going to get?
Unfortunately.
Like, this doesn't, they don't finish this?
No.
Unfortunately, this is
part of me, I was really hoping that because it was being shot as like this backdoor pilot, that they would have had an entire episode and weaved it into 2 episodes so that we would get more of that and more of that background, more of that story. And it just left us edging after this, It's like there's just so much left unsaid.
Yeah, and I wish we got even just one more because I feel like it's so fun in this episode, and there's still so much we want to know after this episode, and we don't really get it, but we meet this Keith Vanderwoodsen, who is the man that is confronted by Carol.
And so the forums did point out a couple things to point against this not being Serena and Eric's dad. One, that apparently previous to this, it was mentioned that their dad is a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, also, it's strongly implied that Carol slept with this man.
And a doctor of smooth jams.
So is this a relative? If this is not the man that Lily is going to meet, like,
why are we being introduced to him?
It's clearly supposed to mean something that we are being introduced to this man.
Yeah.
Is it a relative? Is every other person in California just named Vanderwoodsen? Like, what is going on here? To me, it's like
my headcanon, it's always his brother.
I've seen people say that on like message board, like this is just a brother. To me, it's like I think this is the man that she ends up marrying, even though Carol did sleep with her, and that the writers just forget things. The writers just forget his
otherwise it's weird to
job.
Him
the writers just forget. Yeah, because it's so weird.
It's implied that there's also CeCe's meddling in this too, in that relationship. And so I could see CeCe kind of forcing, pushing that relationship to happen and be like, oh yeah, so I slept with your sister. Look at the wealth that we could bring together if you married him anyway. Like,
right?
Why? Yeah. Why is that going to stop?
Right.
Those beautiful blonde Aryan babies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't introduce the important person's brother before you introduce the important person.
Well, we'll never know now because we didn't get more episodes.
Lily and Owen share another moment and are about to kiss when we hear some glass break.
Yeah, I believe this is when Owen is like, "You're totally falling in love with me. You're." I'm like,
watch me break
her
glass.
lines back to him.
And it could have been charming if you say it with the right amount of charm, but it just did not. It falls flat for me. But I get that he was just throwing Lily's words back at her. But come on, deliver them a little better than that.
Yeah,
it's called acting.
Yeah, maybe look it up.
If you wouldn't mind
doing
participating in this activity.
Listen to Lonely Boys Theater.
Ever done that? And I talked about Serena's charming swaying and her dancing, but Brittany Snow as Lily, truly the most charming dancer I've ever seen. Like her lame dance moves with Owen, so adorable. Loved her so much in this scene. Trying to imagine present day Lily dancing like this.
I mean, they could have just shelved all the guys and like her and Kristen Ritter could have carried this show.
Yeah.
Two entertaining people. Yeah. Just change the guys up. They would notice.
And it's funny. I guess looking back, I wouldn't have known at the time how much I love Kristen Ritter's work, but I would want to go back and rewatch it now because I pretty much love everything I've seen her in.
Yeah.
Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23, underrated show.
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Loved it. It was ended too soon.
Canceled way too soon.
That show was hilarious. I mean, Vanderbeek.
Another Gossip Girl alumni. Hazel's actress is in that. Walker.
My God, yeah.
Oh, right.
At the prom, we get a quick scene of Blair yelling at Chuck, who she caught with a bunch of ballots marked with Nellie Yuki's name. Yeah,
and this is when we're supposed to be like, oh, Chuck is sabotage.
Chuck.
Like, I forget, like, because I've seen this so many times at this point, I forget if there was ever a time where I was watching and I was like, oh man, Chuck is trying to sabotage her, or if I just, like, always knew, like, no, Chuck's, like, trying to rig it for Blair. He's trying to give her a good prom. Like, I don't even know. Like, Steve, as the first time you were watching, were you, like, catching on to this at all, or were you believing that he was trying to sabotage her?
No, I didn't think he was trying to sabotage her. I was actually kind of pulling for what happened there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I love her so much. I want her to be happy. The way the last episode ended with him telling her, I don't love you, go to Nate, it's not me, and then turning instantly to Serena and saying, I had to because I'll never make her happy. And then he spends this entire episode doing everything to make her prom night perfect.
Right.
Yeah. He looks very pleased with himself at that point. It is kind of funny to look at his like funny little smirk when she's just berating him later.
We go back to 1983, and Carol is yelling at Keith Vanderwoodsen, who comes off like a total sleazeball. Lily also gives Keith a piece of her mind, and Keith's girlfriend tells them to take the trash back to the valley, and that's when fists start to fly.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
She also has that great line where she's like, doesn't she like, where are you going to get your butt tattooed? I was like, ooh, that's gotta.
Only tattoo you're gonna get is my face to your Memphis or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, we're in California now, so we have to have kind of that OC energy where a brawl's just going to break out at a party. And this is also something that was very fun when the fight just breaks out and punches are being thrown, purses are being whacked against people.
Fight scene because he's like getting the shit kicked out of him. She's like, you know what'll help? Me with a purse.
Yeah.
and then he's staring, watching at it, and he just gets decked.
Well,
yeah, that's
also,
great.
Like, what were you like? Everyone is just running out. No one, and then you ran up and just punched a guy, like a guy that didn't know that you were like fleeing, and oh, well, I'm just gonna throw a punch on my way out, and then gets jumped by like 4 dudes.
Yeah, and this is this is also great because like we definitely have seen punches being thrown in Gossip Girl, but in the world of like these super fancy parties, we don't tend to see like brawls break out like this.
Yeah, that's true. They're not in that sort of world.
Yeah, we don't see like everyone participating. So this was a nice treat.
And one more thing, since I think this is his last scene, I will flag up that the sleazeball Keith Vanderwitz is played by Matt Barr, who was Psycho Derek on One Tree Hill.
I will say he is in every teen drama. He's in this. He's in One Tree Hill. He is in The OC. He is in Friday Night Lights. He is literally any teen drama that you could think to watch. You will see this man for a couple of episodes. For at least one episode, you will see this man somewhere.
Yes.
This was his thing. Bit role in teen dramas in like the late 2000s.
And for whatever I've heard, everyone says he's a complete sweetheart in real life. So
that's nice.
Great.
I'm happy.
Yeah. Blair is still yelling at Chuck as Penelope announces, much to the chagrin of the Mean Girls, that Blair has been elected prom queen with Nate as her king.
Wow.
I do like Penelope's like trapped here because she thinks she's successfully rigged it. She takes the thing out, she goes to read it, and she's like, wait, what? But it's like at that point, just say it's Nelly Yuki anyway.
You can just say it, yeah.
Like that's the same thing as rigging it. Just lie.
Is that mousy little teacher really going to say anything?
You didn't need the votes. Just say whatever the hell you want.
And then give whoever that counted the votes the death stare and be like, you better not say anything.
That was Miss Carr's replacement. As Blair and Nate take the stage, Chuck reveals to Serena and Dan that he actually ensured that Blair would have her perfect dream prom. We go to a break with a little something from Gossip Girl. Aw, who knew the mother chucker could also play fairy godmother? But if C just made B's dreams come true, why does it feel like our queen is standing with the wrong king?
It's a real selfless act because he tells people about it. That's how you know it's...
Well, okay, he does, but... Listen, it comes up kind of organically. They're pointing it out. They're like, wait, she won. Like, who voted for her? And Chuck's like, I did 150 times. He's not going around he doesn't tell Blair. He's not like, hey,
he's like, I don't know who did.
He could okay, yeah, it's not perfect. It's not like he didn't 100% do it without anyone knowing. But I still think in the grand scheme of things, he is still like giving up something for the good of Blair. He wants her to have.
I think you might know this might get back to her though, and. Then he's gonna look
just seeing the worst in Chuck. Maybe it's the Chuck and Blair shipper in me. But when he looks up at her and just smiles, I think it was sweet. It's a very cute scene. Even Gossip Girl agrees with me that Blair is with the wrong king. And this is when I was watching today. This is when I first started tearing up. I was like, Chuck.
Yeah.
So this is actually a very good reverse parallel of the Cotillion episode from last season. Because in that episode, Chuck schemed for selfish reasons and ruined Blair's night. This time he was selfless and made her night perfect.
Yeah.
And that's growth.
That's growth, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, growth.
Oh, that's good.
And while giving her the perfect night, had her come to realize that she was not with the perfect man.
Exactly.
Yeah. It was quite a snoozeville over there.
Nate just standing up, like Blair's making a speech, Blair's doing everything, and Nate's just kind of like, "Oh man, prom king, cool, that's awesome." Thank God they told me I won because I wouldn't have been able to read it.
Where's my tiara? Oh.
And we move into the epilogue. 1983, CeCe is getting a call from Lily, who's in jail. Lily and CeCe argue for a bit about her future and Carol being a bad influence. Lily stands up for Carol, who grabs the phone from Lily and tells CeCe that Lily is staying in LA for a while before hanging up.
And we set up the new series.
And this is why she put Serena in jail. She's like, if I had to go in jail, then you have to try it out too for a minute.
I had to go in jail. You have to go in jail. Your daughter will also go to jail when you see fit. It's a tradition that we always do.
And we all get shit-faced at Thanksgiving every year.
Like my mother and my mother before me.
We go to jail. We love gin in our coffees.
And like this is like Lily's crying here, like during this scene. She tells her mom, she's like, I don't need a publicist, I just need a mother. Like it's hard not to feel for Lily here. Even if we're mad at her in present day, it's like getting this backstory really just like kind of shapes our opinion or reshapes our opinion of her a little bit. And then when, Carol stands up for her and like grabs the phone and basically tells CeCe fuck off, like she's living with me now, like it's just very exciting. Like what could have been with this show if we actually continued it. And Carol just an icon in this scene. They both stand, because Lily stands up for her sister when she's initially on the phone with her mom, and then Carol kind of hears this and then ends up taking the phone and standing up for Lily. So it's sweet,
like
all
a big
around.
sister moment.
Yeah,
it's tough because you're really ready to watch them go on their own journey now at this point. It's such a tease,
especially when they get close.
In 2009, Lily catches CeCe on the street leaving the penthouse. Things are obviously still contentious between these two, but they both admit their love for each other.
And they kiss.
Yeah. Listen, I think that this is another great scene. It's just very interesting, the back and forth between them. Like Lily is finally kind of being like, listen, I don't care. I just want to forgive you and say I love you and hug you. And CeCe is just like refusing to engage. She's like, well, I don't know. If you feel the need to do that, then, if you want to hug me, I can't stop you. But then when they do hug, we see CeCe kind of warm up a little bit and hug her. Yeah. They're kind of just like putting it all out in the open now. Like Lily is really just sharing her feelings with her mom, like stuff in the past, stuff in the present, and of course with the juxtaposition of the Lily and Serena of it all, and then the Lily and CeCe in the flashbacks. Like everything is just kind of coming to a head at this moment in this very interesting scene between mother and daughter. And even though CeCe is still choosing to be a bitch to her daughter, like in everything she says,
she only has one mode.
Like that's just like Rufus kind of says it earlier. Like CeCe's not going to change. She's too old. She's set in her ways. Like you're not, but you can change still. And if you change, like who knows what that'll cause. And we see that. Like CeCe's not willing to like even like I don't even think she says I love you to Lily.
It just takes a hug, doesn't give it
in
back.
This scene, but she allows her to hug her. So that's all we get, and that's kind of all we need. Because at this point, I'm like weeping into my sweatshirt. At this point, I'm like, oh my god.
And Lily's she's got so much pride, so it's big of her to admit all this stuff and say, I hated you for what you did to me, and I ended up doing the same thing and worse. So it's a lot to admit there. So good for her.
Yeah, and I don't know why CeCe can't even pretend to like her daughter, but her commitment to the bit also outstanding.
Blair and Nate share a slow dance. Blair breaks up with Nate, but they still kiss and continue to dance.
I like a good breakup kiss. I think every time you break up with anyone, you should share a steamy romantic.
I think anytime you say goodbye to someone, you should
just,
just be a kiss. Yeah,
absolutely.
And this scene was very much similar to the dance with Dan and Serena at the end of season 1.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, they've done this before. This is how they end relationships, and it's always at a dance, and they always get one last dance. But I do like it because it's very poignant. It's very like, let's share this one last dance, and it's like it's just a very sad thing to know that it's kind of going to be over after this one last dance, and that's kind of what Blair's point is. Like about high school in general, and she's like, this is something that I've wanted since I was 12, but now it's happening. And Nate, not the brightest, but I think he can even start to pick up on the fact that she's dumping him.
Yeah. Or just feel like there's nothing to the relationship.
Especially when, yeah.
I hope she and Serena went to the plaza and enjoyed the room.
I hope so too.
Right up Chuck's tab.
Yeah.
But this moment and this speech from Blair, it's very poignant, and I think Blair is really able to like describe what she's feeling so well. Like I could feel exactly what Blair was feeling in that moment, and it very much feels like a last dance when they go through it. Like it's another good scene. At this point, I've already been crying at this point while watching, so the tears are just still coming down the face, still crying, still enjoying.
It definitely nails that end of high school vibe.
100%, yes.
Yeah. And she starts the episode by saying she doesn't want to do high school stuff anymore. She has the one last dance with high school itself and enjoys every bit of it, and now can move on.
Yes, because Nate is the personification of high school itself. Yes.
Yeah.
Blair is sitting on the filthy Met steps with her beautiful prom dress and tells Serena that she broke up with Nate. Serena and Blair reaffirm their friendship and reaffirm for us that this is the true love story of the show.
And this is the scene we've all been waiting for.
Yeah.
We raised each other.
This is it. It's so good. I love a good Blair Serena scene. This one, no different. Like this show, it's firing at all cylinders here. It's another like we're having the scene with Lily and her mom, the scene with Blair and Nate, everything that was happening in the flashback. Now we get a class, like they're just checking things off the list of like things I want in a good Gossip Girl episode. And it's like, I was like, kind of missing a good Blair Serena episode. It's like, don't worry, episode's not over yet. We got you. Here we go. And even like in this emotional time, like Blair's even still able to be Blair. And when Blair says she's sorry, like you almost missed prom because your mother had you arrested and your quasi half brother / ex-boyfriend was your prom date. Like even Blair at her saddest, she's still like delivering outstanding sound bites, and that's why we love Blair.
Yeah, very mature.
Well, I don't know about mature, but witty.
Yeah, she's very mature.
And then Serena says, she's right where she wants to be with her best friend. And
Yes.
Aw.
Back in 1983, we get the obvious parallel with Lily and Carol making plans for their time in LA. They get on a city bus and sit in the back seat. We get a shot of them sitting with a state of uneasy excitement.
A bus. Lily on a bus. I couldn't believe it.
Obvious parallels to The Graduate.
Obvious parallels to The Graduate, a movie I have not seen. but I do believe it. We're also kind of cutting back and forth between this scene with Blair and Serena on the steps at this point, like
best friends,
obviously hitting us hard with the parallels. It was really working for me. Like just seeing both of these scenes side by side, I was really enjoying.
And we end the episode with a Gossip Girl monologue. Shoulder pads may come and go, but a BFF is forever, because even when you're not sure where you're headed, it helps to know you're not going there alone. No one has all the answers, and sometimes the best we can do is just apologize and let the past be the past. Other times, we need to look to the future and know that even when we think we've seen it all, life can still surprise us, and we can still surprise ourselves. XO, Gossip Girl.
Wow, Kristen Bell was really going off on a tangent there at the end.
He likes those shoulder pads.
Really
Yeah, I mean, that incredible. Just during that, when we see like present day Lily, like we see past Lily and her sister riding the bus. We see present Lily like longingly looking out of a window, getting a text from Serena. We see present day Serena like just looking out into the world, smiling with Blair's head on her shoulder. Like a beautiful ending to the episode. That specifically the ending, like the whole episode in itself, obviously, and then the episode ending, just everything to me. Just another point in its favor.
Absolutely.
Going back to the text from Serena, when did Serena come to the conclusion to forgive Lily? Was she like watching Lily's memories too?
I guess.
Yeah,
so.
during that
She's
scene, during that scene on the set with Blair, you might have missed it. It was a small line. She's like, I don't know, something keeps happening. Like I keep flashing back and just like seeing these visions of my mom in California in the 80s, and like I kind of see where she's coming from now.
Yeah, maybe when her eyes were closed, she was projecting it out of her mouth.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's an interesting power that Lily has. That I'm surprised they never touch on it in other episodes. Yeah.
So, Steve, any predictions going forward?
The first one was more of a question that was already answered about, am I going to see more of this? My other prediction always remains the same. They're all going to fuck at some point.
Yeah. Every single one.
Now we are open for Blair and Nate both having new relationships with people. And so I'm kind of excited to see where that goes. I'm assuming that there's going to be some kind of Blair Chuck season finale, because I don't know how they can leave that.
He's looking at that season runtime.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what happens in a finale. Either someone breaks up or someone gets together, as per the rules.
Yeah.
Either way, they'll
I
kiss.
predict Dan and Serena will get together again.
Okay.
Rufus and Lily will get together again.
At the same time, hopefully.
Yeah. And I'm also I'm also constantly on the lookout for a Dan Vanessa thing, because I know it has to happen eventually. And it I don't,
if not
to,
with him, then with
to.
Are you still sticking to your prediction from last week that Georgina is coming back and going after Blair?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's the other thing. I I forgot that we were in the middle of a Georgina arc too.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm
Because
really excited to see how that goes on.
Yeah,
And
the episode.
I think that she's going to.
The episode before this, Georgina is very prevalent, right? It's like the big, like this is when they like get Georgina
Jesus the bitches
out
back.
of out of the Bible camp that she's in.
Hell yeah.
And then it is interesting that they kind of just take a break completely from that storyline to go into this, and then presumably you'd think they have to bring her back in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
What's our T-shirt that we have? Tell Jesus that I just shit my pants or something like that.
Brendan, I cannot remember every single T-shirt idea that we've had, but that sounds like something that we came up with. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that episode.
All right, well, that is it for our episode. Let's go ahead and get into some segments. This week in fandom, we jumped into the Wayback Machine to visit the Television Without Pity forums from 2009.
Hello there, Peabody here. And this is the Wayback Machine for traveling through time. And this is my boy, Sherman. Speak, Sherman. Hello. Good boy.
About 50% of the fans were back on the Chandler bandwagon after they were kind of off for a few episodes there. They just kind of were getting bored with it, but about half the audience is back on.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
That's fair. Good.
Otherwise, I'm coming for him.
Most people liked the episode, but a lot of people did feel it was a bit disjointed.
I mean, I sort of understand what you said earlier, but the Vulture article said about the red wine and the white wine, because it is like two separate shows until at the end they kind of tie it together nicely. So
bottle of red, ooh, bottle white.
Okay.
Yeah, there definitely was some obvious parallels at the end.
Yeah,
and we'll get more into it when we get to the grades. But yeah, majority people were glad that Nate and Blair 2.0 is over.
Thank God.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they were pouring.
Yeah,
but the snow kiss was pretty.
Yeah, give them that. No doubt.
Owen looks like a mix between Chuck Bass and Duncan Cain from Veronica Mars.
Okay.
I'll take their word for it, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, Duncan Cain's the boring boyfriend for Veronica at the beginning that no one in the audience liked.
Okay. Sounds right then.
And then she met her Chuck Bass.
Hell yeah.
Which is Logan.
Can't wait to get into that show.
Good theme song.
Serena and Blair are the one true pairing of the show.
Of course, yeah. Everyone should be agreeing with that.
Everyone agrees.
But the show sometimes forgets it.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, they take a lot of time off that.
A couple people were wondering if Dorota was working with Chuck.
You always have to wonder where she is and what she's doing in the background.
It's always a possibility. I think Dorota is definitely a fan of Chuck. We've seen that. And I think they do. And Dorota also can be a sneaky character. So it's definitely. Yeah. I don't hate that headcanon if that's what people have
help
decided.
Who she needs to help if she wants to. Yeah.
Not a love for Nate this episode, and they're sick of him constantly questioning Chuck.
Say a word.
Okay, I don't blame Nate for questioning Chuck. I really can't blame him. Like,
but then why are you friends with him then?
Well, yeah, okay, that's fair. Like that's. But I don't know.
Trust him, then don't be friends with him.
Nate doesn't do anything in this episode enough to like hate him.
Yeah.
Like Nate's just like
Chuck says, "No, I'm not." He's Nate.
Well,
goes,
I think what they were mad about is like this is like the third or fourth episode where they've had almost that same conversation.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm mad at the writers for that. Yeah. I'm mad at Nate.
Where is Serena's and Eric's dad now? Is he alive or dead?
Both.
In a way, both.
Do we get an answer to that?
We'll see. We'll find out.
Okay.
And finally, where are Georgina and Poppy? They just dropped that. They just dropped that storyline.
It is a very interesting choice. Like I don't know how we could have rearranged the episode for this to make more sense if this was the right spot for this particular episode, but I'm not going to try to. I'm not going to try to piece this puzzle together.
Yeah.
Well, I will actually try and do that in my episode grades.
Oh, great.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get into that.
Sure.
So I'm probably going to be the low grade on this one. I think this could have been two separate A+ episodes.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was too jammed together. And what I would have done, get rid of episode 17 with the Chuck's whole Eyes Wide Shut storyline. And do the backdoor pilot then.
Okay.
And this could be like a full Prom episode plus Georgina and Poppy.
Yeah.
Which not being a full Prom episode is what I think hurt it, because I thought Prom ended up not being as special of an episode as it should have been.
Yeah.
That Prom should have been a Blair Serena episode and not a Lily episode.
So while this could have been 2 A+ episodes, I'm actually going to give it a B-.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I think they definitely could have stood on their own very well. You're right about that.
What do you got, Matt?
So for me, obviously, since I've said this is my favorite episode of all time, and rewatching it today did not change that opinion. Prom episode, check. Flashback episode, check. Emotional episode, check. Points made, sure. Maybe it could have been a separate thing, but I also think they kind of wanted to tie those jail storylines in, and if this is in point in the series where Serena's in jail, and to do that then, but it has everything I'm looking for. The flashbacks are great, which is, very fun. Like, not always a backdoor pilot is going to be successful, so they were still able to make it into a good episode. And like I said, if it was just the backdoor pilot, I think it's an A, but even though maybe they could have separated, I think all the other stuff just also added to it as well. And I'm a feeling guy. Like, I'm going into this if this is an episode that can make me cry, it's always going to be bumped up there to me, because I love feeling while I watch TV. And this was definitely, those last 15 minutes were making me cry. And the backdoor pilot did what it was supposed to do and getting me invested and wanting more. Would have loved to watch the show. But like I said, all that present day stuff, we don't spend a ton of time at Prom. That is true. But I do love everything we get. We don't get a Blair and Chuck scene, which is probably the only thing off my checklist that I'm looking for in a classic Gossip Girl episode. But we do have
sort of.
Yeah, we have that reveal scene where Chuck is like, "I'm giving Blair everything she wants," and that's a great reveal. And for a show that is so soap opera-esque, I feel like we got some really good real emotional scenes, like the Lily and CeCe scene, the Blair and Nate scene, the Blair and Serena scene. Some of my favorite scenes in the show's history, and they're all back to back to back, and they make me feel so many feelings. They were able to tie the backdoor pilot and the story together well, kind of seamlessly going between the 1980s and 2009, and it culminated in that ending sequence that I was also very high on. So easy A for me. Still my favorite episode. Brendan, if you waver from that A you gave it when we watched this first time, you were going to have shit to answer for right now. So no pressure. No pressure, but
Go ahead. What do you got, Brendan?
Hey, I mean, I saw that I can go as far as A+, so I'm going to go A+, baby. I'm going to one-up you.
Shit.
Yeah. How about that?
Should I change it to an A+?
You can. Where are you going to get that chance?
That goes against my internal grading system where A is the highest.
Well, if you're an honors kid, your GPA can be above 100. So
got a lot of honors. I said Constance.
All right, you know what? To fight against the B-, put an A+. put an A+ next to it. Yeah.
Wait, I mean, come on. There's my favorite character is Lily. There's 2 Lilies. I gotta give it an A+. So good. And after we're watching, obviously, the Gossip Girl reboot, and the little that they pack into an hour is crazy, and how much they packed into this episode in 42 minutes. I want to say it was great that they were able to do so much in that small amount of time. I liked it quite a bit.
We often talk about how much Gossip Girl how often they'll have 4 entire storylines that have beginnings, middles, and ends, and all wrap up in the end. And that is probably the most impressive writing feat that they do week after week.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got, Steve?
We also often, I am more in line with you that, like I said, I didn't feel like Prom was very special. And in this show about the teenagers, that Prom is everything to a teenager, and they kind of took that away from them and made the focus on this dual thing. So I went solid B.
Okay. Glad we give our pluses.
Yeah, I'm glad you told me about that A+ loophole.
Yeah. Loophole. Have you guys had any A+ episodes thus far?
Yeah, we actually, the last episode, I think we both gave it an A+.
Nice.
I think so.
That's an A episode as well. So yeah.
And Poison Ivy, we both gave A+ as well.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like not as much of a celebrated episode, but that is the episode that the pilot's great, obviously, but see, episode 3 is the one that hooks.
I was sold at that point as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when they brought up Lily's sister, it really kind of set the stage.
Oh, this could be great. There's a sister. Oh, wow.
Going on to Stock Watch. For me, I had going up in this episode Dan, because he rescued Serena. Blair, because she won Prom Queen. Chuck, because he got Blair's perfect prom. I had Serena going up because she was, hilarious and funny for once. CeCe because she beat Lily, and also I gave young Carol and young Lily up.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Brennan, who you got going up?
I mean, I'll say both Lilies to defend her. Even in her old age, I think there was some character growth for her, even though she did lose to her mother, which is always embarrassing. Carol's great. I really would like to have seen more of her. And I'll echo all the other sentiments that you had as well.
Okay, follower.
They even named all the good ones.
All right, and Matt?
So to me,
just echo the sentiments. Don't even bother.
all right, everything you guys said, double it for me. No. When we recap this episode, Blair was my MVP this week, so definitely Blair. She gets her perfect prom. She ditches the zero to potentially end up with the hero.
Yeah.
She has that great Serena moment, and she always has, those great Blair lines. So great episode for Blair. Serena, just with how she talks to her mom all episode and how she wants to stay in jail to prove a point. Definitely Serena here. Lily, I think also I will give both Lilies, young Lily and old Lily, old decrepit Lily, present day Lily.
Okay, watch it. She's glowing. Don't forget.
Both of them, because Brittany Snow is just amazing as Lily in the flashbacks, and then the growth arc that Lily goes on in the present day. As well.
I remembered one. Gwen Stefani. Great job.
Yes, Snowed Out has a great.
Yes. You said Brittany Snow. I was like, Snowed Out. I can't forget my favorite band.
Good call. I had Chuck. Even though Brendan thinks that he was, too boisterous in his achievements, I thought that he does a great thing for Blair here. And then Carol, for, we meet her. She's iconic. She's great. And then maybe an off the book pick, but Shep is the one that throws the punch that starts the brawl off. So give me Shep as a thumbs up here.
Lit the match to start the fire.
And I love the name, the Shep.
The Shep.
I had both Dan and Serena going up. I also had Chuck going up. I applauded his efforts. I had Jenny going up for making a sick dress.
That's fair.
Sure.
Super short notice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I have CeCe going up. I thought that even CeCe was sure an asshole like she always is, but I thought that I don't think she was that wrong in anything either. So I really felt CeCe went up, and I want to send Dorota up, and that is off the headcanon that she helped Chuck, because I really like that idea.
Anyone else?
And that's my ups.
Okay. Going down, I had present day Lily because she got beat by both CeCe and Serena, and she threw her daughter in jail.
That's true. Taking it from both sides.
Nah.
Rufus because he was a self-righteous asshole as usual.
Yeah.
Nate because he got dumped. Keith Vanderwoodson because he's a creep, and the Mean Girls because they got out-schemed.
Yeah.
Brennan?
Yeah. I'll throw it to Nelly Yuki, especially because she lost out on being prom queen. Rufus, of course, for being himself. Vanessa showed her face on screen, so she has to go down.
How dare she?
How dare she? Yeah, I'll throw Keith Vanderwoodson one as well. Yeah, absolutely creep energy.
Matt?
For me, both of Lily's parents in the flashback, so young CeCe specifically, is going down in this one, and then her father's name was what? Scott? Is that what it was? That's ringing a bell. I don't know if that's accurate, but he sucks as well. Keith, obviously, and then I agree. Nate got dumped. Rufus is in like one or two scenes, but he's the same self-righteous asshole that he always is. And then, yes, Nelly Yuki for losing out on prom queen. I guess also, like you said, the Mean Girls, because also Penelope, because it was kind of her plan. So she can do, but we're all forgetting someone very important. Speaking of creepy, pervy cab driver really needs to really needs to take it.
Put him in my going ups. I'm sorry. Thanks for mentioning that gig. He was going up himself.
Steve?
I had Lily going down, and I actually realized that I would have had young Lily going up, as well as Carol going up. I forgot to add them. But I had current Lily going down. I had Rufus going down because Rufus is a fucking asshole. Because Rufus always takes his shit out on his kids.
Glad we're all in agreement.
Yeah. Like, when Rufus has good parenting moments, they're great for Dan. But when he has bad parenting moments, he's just a shitty person to his kids.
Yeah.
He was decent in season 1, but season 2, oof.
Whole other
Yeah, he's
Yeah. He should just be a
and
passenger.
like especially to Jenny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although Dan too, in the whole Vander Woodsen women. I had Blair going down because even though she had a perfect prom, but she ended the night sad. She ended the night breaking up with Nate. I had Blair going down. I had
Resident Nate
down.
stan.
I am a resident.
guess so.
I am the resident Nate stan. Like, no lie.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. I like Nate.
I have been all about Nate.
He's a nice man.
Good guy, Nate.
From
He loves
episode
Jabba Chamberlain.
1. I
Wow.
Love him
love
with his dad.
But I have Nate going down on this.
Oof.
I have the minions going down.
Yeah.
I have young CeCe going down, as well as Lily's dad. I forget what we said. Mr. Rhodes.
Yeah, we'll call him
going
Scott.
down for being another shitty dad.
Call him just in case.
We'll call him Scott. I don't know.
Another bad parent.
Yeah.
Scott Bob.
Young Lily would not
Cooper.
go down, famously.
Yeah, so she has
Something
to
she
go.
refused to do.
Yeah, young Lily not at the going down.
It's so funny, all the taglines about, like, you don't want your kids watching this, when really the worst people on the show are the parents.
Yeah.
The kids are only, like, kind of getting into trouble.
Yeah, it's not much. Yeah, it's not that bad.
Like, the only one that ever gets arrested doesn't really do anything wrong. Oh, that's not true. Dan got arrested. Dan and Chuck got arrested for starting a bar fight.
Badass.
And Chuck was sexually turned on by that punch Dan threw.
Yeah.
I bet he was.
But here's the best outfits from the last episode we've seen.
So that is it for Stock Watch. Let's go ahead to move on to best outfits. For me, the obvious choice would be go with Blair's prom dress. It was a Marchesa.
Sure.
But, I mean, you can only wear that to, like, prom or, a ball or something.
Or like to work. Or like to the deli.
It was definitely a work of art, but I'm going to go ahead. I liked the Madonna outfit the young Lily was wearing, the polka dot tulle dress with the leather jacket, which is basically the 80s version of the outfit that I gave best outfit last week with Jenny.
Yeah.
Matt, who's your best outfit?
Interesting, hard for me. This is a fashion show. It's not the thing I pay the closest attention to. Those, and I know we're supposed to be obsessed with Blair's prom dress, but that could have been any dress to me. I know it is. Like, okay, yeah, sure, that was definitely a prom dress.
It was fluffy for sure.
Yeah, sure. As I was saying, every outfit that Brittany Snow tries on in the montage, I was living for. So definitely all of those, and then also. Outfit that stood out to me in the last scene, Carol's iconic outfit at the end of the episode, where they take the bus back from jail. She's got her jean jacket on, she's got her fierce sunglasses, she's got her yellow bandana. Like, if I saw her on that bus, I'm like, okay, I want her to be my best friend. So definitely shout out to Carol, as well as everything that Brittany Snow was doing in that montage.
Brendan?
I want to give it to Carol as well, but not that scene. It's the kind of middle of the episode when Lily first meets Carol
At the bar.
Yeah, it's like the red outfit she's wearing. It's like there's so many layers to it. Yeah, there's so much going on. It looks so cool, and I really wanted to wear it myself. I was jealous of her. She looks so, of the times, just looks awesome. Looks like it's a cool chick.
Steve?
Leif, I had the exact same thought process as you and landed on the exact same outfit. That, I'm supposed to love this prom dress, but the way that they captured that young 80s look just really got me. And so I gave that one to young Lily's rebel outfit.
That is it for segments. Matt, Brennan, thank you so much for joining us. You're always welcome at the non-judging breakfast table.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
I appreciate it.
Obviously, always love talking Gossip Girl, and it was really great to go back to an episode I really enjoyed rather than the horror that is everything we've ever seen. So this is a lot of fun. Thank you so much
Thanks
for
having us for one of our favorites. It's been great to. I should go back and rewatch this show now. Listen along to your show.
Wow, a rewatch, and then you could start a podcast with someone else that hasn't seen it.
What a
Is
wonderful,
there
horrible
anything
cycle.
you guys would like to plug this week?
Sure. I'll plug the Lonely Boys. You can listen to. I mean, listen. You don't have to worry about us potentially not finishing the series because we've got every episode done with already. So
Yeah,
not saying that you guys aren't going to finish the series. I would never throw that accusation out there.
Sounds like you're
I'm just saying
accusing
no. I don't want to come off like that. I'm just saying you don't have to worry about it when
We didn't think about it until you started backtracking like that.
No, not what I'm saying. But yeah, every episode is there, and then also we are basically like
Balls
pretty
deep
much
into the reboot.
balls deep, yeah, if you want to call it that. No, basically like a season down. Like we have a couple more episodes of the first season, but we've basically got the first season done of 2 of the reboot.
I
so.
begged to just do it all in one episode.
I can't even keep the episodes under 2 hours when we just do one episode at a time. Okay, very impressive here that we were able to keep this under 2 hours. So yeah, check that out. And then also if you want, follow me on Twitter at MattyFresh24.
Yeah. Same. Lonely Boys. Also, listen to the Sandy Boys on patreon.com/boysmedia for all of your OC coverage. Same type of show we do on Lonely Boys, but just for the OC. And you can listen to the Hobby Boys wherever you get your podcasts, and you can watch that on YouTube as well. I'm also starting to post Blitzball games that I'm playing with my friends, so go tune into the Blitzball Boys and watch some one-on-one wiffle ball type content.
Preparing for you coming on this episode is how I learned about Blitzball.
Oh, there we go.
I think it is awesome. I am a huge baseball, I'll watch every Phillies game in a season almost that I can watch. And I don't work, so I have the time to watch every game.
So you get into our recommendations now too. I mean, get into Jumbo Media's Warehouse Games, because if you need a baseball fix during the off season, go right to Warehouse Games, and any of their Blitzball battle tournaments are fantastic. Or you can watch the Blitzball Boys as well. Blitzball Boys does their whole recap of everything they do as well.
Awesome.
Steve, you plugging anything this week?
I am. This will be out before March 15th, correct?
Yeah, February 10th.
Awesome. So on March 15th, come out to Dawson Street Pub. There is a Black Sabbath night going on. Mm-hmm. It'll be a bunch of bands playing Black Sabbath tunes, and I was asked to come in and arrange some ukulele covers of Black Sabbath tunes.
Oh, cool. That's so fun.
I've already started working on Sweet Leaf, and I've got a couple others in mind that I'm going to do, and so I'll be the intermission show playing Black Sabbath covers on my ukulele.
Hell yeah. That's very cool. If I was nearby, I'd just swing by.
Well, I play ukulele. Obviously, I play the ukulele. But in my shows, if I have an extended set for an hour or more, I always have my heavy metal portion of the evening where I play Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and Dio songs on the ukulele.
That's very fun.
All right, nothing really for me to plug this week, but you can follow me on Instagram or Blue Sky at Hot Capicola, and you can follow the podcast at Non-Judging Breakfast Pod on Instagram, Threads, and sometimes TikTok. Who knows if it's going to be banned? It was banned for a little while today, but came back. Who knows?
And when it is sold, the current suggestion by the incoming administration is for the United States of America to own 50% of the platform, which I don't know how that's supposed to make me feel good.
I don't know.
You can find our Discord server and our Patreon on our website, nonjudgingbreakfastpod.com.
And if you'd like to get in touch with us, please send us an email at nonjudgingbreakfastpod@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear what you have to say and read your responses here on our podcast. And also, while you're listening, go ahead and give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, and leave a comment. That really helps with our visibility in Apple Podcasts and other mediums. So get involved. And also, while you're at it, tell a friend what you're listening to. We'd love to have you bring your friends to the Non-Judging Breakfast table.
And we will be back to break down the season 2 finale, The Goodbye Gossip Girl. The Max episode description reads, Gossip Girl sends a shocking email.
Oh, yeah. What could that email
story
possibly be?
Send shocking
Gossip Girl getting directly involved with the story.
Yeah.
She's only done that once. Once or twice.
Inserting herself into the narrative.
Mm-hmm. Well, until next time, you know you love us.
XOXO.
Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away, run away, you take a piece of me with you there.
Lovely boys.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Oh, it seems I'm walking right to your door. My heart's still resting, looking for something more. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Never feels right when I'm out here on my own. I left last night and it feels like way too long. Are you ever gonna see everything you mean to me? I'm trying really hard to believe. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Come back to me. Smile and you'll make my life complete. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me with you there. Every time you walk away or run away, you take a piece of me